Hello team, this is going to be the first of my sort of informational shares on our lovely shiny new WhatsApp group. Thank you all for agreeing to be involved. You can expect some kind of content like this pretty much every week at least, and I'm always available on here for questions, or you can private message me. You know all this anyway, reach me any way you like. But today I just want to talk to you a little bit about goal setting. We're going to do a bit of a whistle-stop tour, as now is the time for goal setting, new year, new me and all that bollocks. But it is actually quite a good time to set some goals. So why is it good to set goals? We know there is evidence that it's linked with higher motivation, self-esteem, self-confidence and autonomy. And there does seem to be a strong connection between those who set goals and actually succeeding in those goals in general. And what I mean by that is setting quite specific goals, which we'll go on to in a little bit. And there is such a thing as a fresh start effect as well, where there is evidence that people who feel that they have a clean slate as such are more likely to be successful in the goals that they set at this time. So New Year's resolutions are, valuable, providing that they follow a good format. And that format specifically is a SMART goal, S being specific. I feel like I've said that a lot already. And then measurable, achievable, relevant and time-bound. I'm sure some of you have already heard this. You may have heard it from me. I bang on about it a lot, but it is our scientific sort of framework for setting a good goal. I stole this, disclaimer, this is not mine. You can see where it came from, Venngage, whatever that is at the bottom there. But it's a really nice illustration of what that SMART goals actually means. It breaks it down very nicely. So when you are setting a goal, let's be as specific as you possibly can be. And to do that, you might want to answer the 5 W's. So who is involved? What do you want to accomplish? When do you want to do it by? Where does it take place, or what do you need for it? And why is it important to you as well? So that's a really nice framework for delving a bit deeper into that first aspect of your goal setting. We also want your goals to be measurable, so we need to determine what metrics we're going to use to see if we are actually making progress towards them or if we have achieved it. There's no point saying I want to lose weight if you don't say how much you want to lose, because, well, I guess then any weight loss is achieving your goal, but 1 pound is probably not your goal if you want to lose weight. Same as if you know you want to get stronger, how are you going to measure how much stronger you are? Are you going to use, say, a 1 rep max in the gym? The maximum amount that you can lift on a certain movement. What lifts are you going to consider? Or it might be, you want to eat more fruit and veg. Well, how much fruit and veg are you going to want to eat, and how are you going to record it? So maybe like a little tick box every day, something along those lines. And if it's going to take a few months to complete, then plan and set some milestones. So this is the idea of setting some sort of mini goals, which I will talk about a little bit in a moment. Make sure your goal is achievable. This is my biggest problem with New Year's resolutions, is that people come storming into the new year full of motivation, wonderful, great, but they set goals for themselves which are just not achievable. And you're going to fizzle out very quickly. If your goal is to lose a stone in a week, sorry. I mean, it's going to be water for a start if you ever was able to lose that much weight in a week. So make sure it's achievable for you. And I like to use the concept of sort of set yourself sort of the least that will make you happy. So rather than saying, okay, ultimately, I really, this is going to make me super, super happy. This is what I want to lose this much in this time. And say, okay, well, would you be happy if you lost this much in this time? Is that more achievable for you when you consider that to achieve your really, really tough goal, you may not be able to have a social life and you may not be able to ever eat out again? Versus, okay, I could set myself a slightly lower goal, one which will still make me feel good and still make me happy, but it's much more likely for me to achieve because it does allow for a little bit of lenience. It allows for that 80-20 approach. It allows for me to go out for a meal with the girls every now and again. You know, you don't want to sacrifice your happiness at the end of the day. And if you're going to be miserable in the entire time you're working towards this goal, really, what's the point in doing it? The process itself should be kind of fun too. Otherwise, that's a lot of your life gone. So yeah, let's try it. Let's try and make it a reasonable goal for sure. Let's make sure that it's relevant as well. Okay, I've just realised this infographic is geared towards businesses, but we can use it as well for individuals. So your goal needs to align with your own objectives and values, I would say. This is really important. When you're setting your goals, think about whether it is aligned with your values and who you consider yourself to be or who you want to be. Is it worthwhile to you? What is it going to bring to your life? Is it relevant to your overall life mission? And yeah, is it right for you? And time-based as well is a really important aspect. So making sure that you sort of have some form of time limit on it as well. There's no point, again, back to the weight loss example, as I know a lot of you are with me for that kind of goal. If you say I want to lose weight, it's like, cool, you could lose a pound in the next 6 months and you've technically achieved your goal. Say, okay, I want to lose this much in this amount of time, obviously making sure it's achievable and realistic. Then it's going to give you sort of something to work towards. And as I said, make sure it's realistic timing as well. Give yourself enough time to achieve it. And why is that time, why is that deadline specific to you? I know some of you have sort of things coming up that you want to lose weight for. That's really good, as long as you are realistic with it and you don't sort of say, okay, I'm going to a party in 2 months and I need to lose like 6 stone by then. That's not really what we're going for. But find a time which is important and aim for it. There are also 2 more sort of facets that I'd like to add there. So to make the SMART goal smarter, we're going to add evaluated and revised to it. And by this, I mean that you want to be continually evaluating your progress towards that goal. Evaluating whether that goal is still relevant to you. Things might change in your life and goals may become more or less important. If you have a general health-based goal and you suddenly get news from your doctor that it's a bit more critical than you thought, then maybe that goal becomes more important and we need to reevaluate how we're going to achieve it. Maybe you suddenly have a little bit less time than you thought. Maybe you have a bit more time. Or maybe you've realised that your goal isn't actually suited to you. Constantly be thinking about it. Just because you set yourself a goal doesn't mean that goal is going to always be the right goal for you. So we want to be evaluating whether it's still relevant and whether it's still important to you, and revising according to that evaluation. So there is absolutely no harm in revising your goals. So if you are way ahead of track, woo, amazing job. Maybe we can revise that goal. Maybe we can bring the time you wanted to achieve it by a little bit closer. Or maybe it goes the opposite way. Maybe things got in the way, and you haven't been able to take all the steps you wanted to. So we can revise that goal and make it more relevant to you. Okay. Even more important than the goal setting itself, what is your plan of action? I call it, this is the POA. It's really huge. Okay, you can set yourself a goal, but you need to know how you're going to get to it. One of the ways to do that is to break it into smaller steps. If you've got I quite often encourage clients to think of sort of, okay, what's your year goal? What's your 6-month goal? Then maybe we can break it down into monthly goals, and then maybe we can break it down into little weekly steps. Then maybe we can even look at the behaviours and things that we need to be accomplishing every day to achieve that week, that month, the 6 month, and then the year goal. So really think about what actions you need to take to achieve them, and also consider what barriers you might face and how you could overcome them. So the best way to succeed and to overcome barriers is to preempt them. So think about, okay, if I don't achieve this goal, what's most likely going to be the reason for me not achieving it? Okay. Maybe the most likely reason is that I'm gonna find that I don't have much time to meal prep. or I'm not going to have as much time, say I'm not going to have as much time to prepare the meals that I want to. And you say, okay, right, how can we overcome this? Maybe you have to set aside an hour a week, every week, for you to prepare meals for the week ahead. If you know time is going to be the most difficult thing for you, make it sort of a non-negotiable. I will explain that more another time. Make it non-negotiable with yourself that you have to have an hour each week to prep your meals, so that you can overcome that time barrier. And here's a little template of everything we just talked about. So I'd really encourage you, and it's all your homework for this week, to write this down. Don't just think about it, write it down. What are your goals, singular or plural? What do you want to achieve perhaps in the next year? Make it SMART, and then you can think about sort of the mini steps as well to achieve that. Think about how you're going to achieve it. Think about your barriers and break it up into small steps. Maybe even have a little tick list, or have a way, as we said about making it SMART, make sure you have a way of recording your progress towards that goal as well. Okay, if you, one more thing, make sure your goals are in line with your values, as I have already mentioned, but this is really important. Make sure that what you want to do is in line with who you are as a person. If you want to drop a ton of weight very quickly, that would involve sacrificing time with your family and sacrificing your happiness, is that really a good goal for you? Maybe you need to readjust that goal, which means you can still be self-compassionate, you can still spend time with your friends and family. That's really important. I think that's it. If you have any questions about any of this, please do not hesitate to ask. I'd love to open a discussion or a dialogue if you want to talk about any of this. That's wonderful. And yeah, that's it from me. I'll send you a check-in tomorrow. Have a great week, guys. See you soon.